Good morning, Cardinals fans. I am Tara Wellman. This is Bird Seeds, and if this is your first time here, cheers. I'd love for you to drop a note in the comments below telling me how you stumbled across this channel. And if you don't know yet, this is a place where you can find content daily and weekly all about baseball, particularly the St. Louis Cardinals. So if that is up your alley, hit that subscribe button, come back every day, and I promise to do my best to keep you in the loop and entertained, starting with another episode of About Last Night. And, well, as Jack Flaherty said, it was a weird day. Our story picks up right where it left off, with the Philadelphia Phillies teeing off against St. Louis Cardinals pitching. Well, sort of. Cardinal starter Jack Flaherty needed just 48 pitches to get through the first 4 innings of scoreless baseball, and that is an important note for later. But a leadoff walk to JT Realmuto in the 5th broke the spell, and a liner in the gap off the bat of Odubel Herrera drove in a run. Flaherty didn't quite have the snap to his pitches that he usually does when he's really sailing, and quickly he had runners at the corners with nobody out. And, well, the old, this isn't how our defense is gonna play is a little in question after the last couple of games, because once again, there was another error as Matt Carpenter at third and Paul DeJong at shortstop literally ran over each other trying to make a play on a double play ball, and that cost Jack Flaherty not only the outs, but another run. 2 more runs would score in the inning, and although it was mostly the defense, and although Jack Flaherty did eventually get out of it without any more damage, this is the thing that Flaherty still struggles with. It takes him a lot of pitches to get out of a situation, of his own creation or not. It took 43 pitches to get through that 1 inning yesterday. Remember how many he'd thrown in the first 4 combined? Yeah, 48. And what kills me is Jack's stuff is too good for that. But when he doesn't have a feel for it, he doesn't have another escape route. And that is what is missing for him right now. A way to get out of those innings even when you don't have your best stuff. Because you're not always going to be feeling it. But man, does he need to take that next step? Because the Cardinals rotation desperately needs the Jack Flaherty that we all know is there. And to be cliche, no one knows that better than Jack Flaherty himself. Of course, it didn't help that the Cardinals lineup was facing a soft-tossing junk baller pitcher in Jared Eichhoff. They can't hit those guys. Give them Scherzer or Kershaw, they can light it up. But Eichhoff? Nada. And that's not to take away from Jared Eichhoff. He pitched beautifully yesterday, but it's a continuing trend with the St. Louis Cardinals for as long as I can remember. Not a single runner reached second base yesterday until a Molina double in the 8th inning, and shortly thereafter, Molina found himself in a rundown that epitomized me, trying to stay invested in this game and then bailing hard. I retweeted it, so go check it out on my timeline. The St. Louis Cardinals offense has been held to 1 run or less in 4 of its last 8 games. The once blazing hot Marcell Ozuna has gone ice cold, and he's joined there by Matt Carpenter and Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie with 11 strikeouts in the last week. And yes, I'm aware my guy Colton Wong is equally cold at the plate right now. As Mike Shildt said in the postgame, they don't want to overreact, but they don't want to underreact either. I mean, they can't let tough stretches convince them that they're a bad team, but they also can't ignore the problems that created the tough stretches in the first place. You can see it in the faces of Goldie and Flaherty and more. They're not brushing off the last week, but there's a quiet resolve that they have what it takes, that they're actually much better than this. And right now, I'm inclined to believe them. What I want to see, though, and this falls on Mike Shildt, is these guys taking ownership of those mistakes, but not falling into the trap of pressing to not make mistakes. These guys are capable. They're plenty good enough. They just collectively had a really bad week. And that bad week resulted in consecutive series losses, capped off by yesterday's dud. And that is the story of the St. Louis Cardinals dropping the afternoon matinee 5-0 to the visiting Philadelphia Phillies. And just like that, the Cardinals have fallen to third in the NL Central, behind the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers, who both had strong weeks. Now, I don't say that to suggest any sort of panic. It's a game and a half. We're 5.5 weeks into the season. The standings have changed so much in the first month that you really can't buy into any of that. It's simply to say each one of these NL Central games matters a little bit more, and there's no time to sit around and stew about the last week. Speaking of stew, see what I did there? Make sure you're checking out birdsontheblack.com. My man Stu Styles has you covered with game recaps all season long, so you can always get more information than what I offer you there. But the Cardinals do hop right back into the NL Central for this weekend series as they welcome the Pittsburgh Pirates for 4 games. I have a preview of that series up right now. I will link it in the card or in the description below. You can check that out. But enjoy game 1, then come back with coffee in hand tomorrow to talk it all over with me. I'll see you then.